Francis Lee, the Manchester City legend, fought more than just defenders on the pitch. His greatest battle was a hidden struggle against an ugly disease that buried him 6 feet under the ground. This is the story of one of the saddest cancer battles in football history. Francis Lee, born on April 29, 1944 in Westhoughton, Lancashire, England, had a childhood filled with passion for football. Growing up in a working-class family, he kicked his first ball around the streets of his hometown. Football was more than just a game for young Francis, it was his dream. In his early years, Lee showed exceptional talent and dedication on the pitch. He played for local youth teams, polishing his skills and catching the eye of scouts. Despite facing challenges such as limited resources and tough competition, Francis remained determined to pursue his passion for football. As soon as he entered his teenage years, Francis's talent became undeniable. He joined Bolton Wanderers, his hometown club, as a youth player. His natural ability, combined with hard work and perseverance, quickly propelled him through the ranks. Francis Lee's journey through English football clubs is quite a story. It all started when he was just 16 at Bolton Wanderers. He teamed up with Nat Lofthouse and showed he was good at scoring goals, even when Bolton got moved down a league. He did really well, especially in the 1964-65 season when he scored 23 goals. But the big moment came when he joined Manchester City. The manager, Joe Mercer, signed him in 1967 for a lot of money. Lee became a key player and helped City win important games, like the one that got them the league title. He kept on doing great, winning the FA Cup in 1969 and scoring an amazing goal in 1970. Lee wasn't just good at regular play, he also set a record for scoring the most penalties in a season in 1971-72. But some people didn't like the way he played because they thought he sometimes dived to get penalties. Even so, he made a big difference on the field, especially in games against Manchester United. After leaving City, Lee went to Derby County in 1974. His time there was full of action, including a famous fight with Norman Hunter from Leeds United. But despite the ups and downs, Lee kept scoring goals, helping Derby win the league in 1974-75. In 1976, Lee retired from football after scoring 2 goals in his last game for Derby against Ipswich Town. With 30 goals in 80 games for Derby, Lee left behind a legacy of skill, controversy, and unforgettable moments on the football field. Lee's achievements on the football field didn't go unnoticed. His exceptional goal-scoring record and leadership qualities earned him recognition both domestically and internationally. He represented England at the highest level, showcasing his talent on the international stage. Coming to his personal life. Lee and his wife Barbara had a strong marriage that was like a solid foundation for him. They were blessed with 3 children, Gary, Tracy, and Charlotte. Even though Lee kept his family life private, some little things give us an idea of it. Lee's success in business later might have come from his determination to take care of his family well. On the field, Lee was known for his bite-to-your-legs style, but at home things were probably more gentle and encouraging. Even though we don't know many details about how he interacted with his wife and kids, it's clear that they were always there to support and motivate him in his big dreams and career. Lee's story shows us that having a strong family behind you can make a big difference in life. Even when things get tough, knowing you have people who believe in you can keep you going. Lee's love for his family was a driving force that helped him succeed, both on and off the field. After his days on the pitch, Lee switched gears and dove into the world of business. He started F.H. Lee Lt., a company that made toilet paper. Fun fact, Peter Kay, the famous comedian, once worked there and even talked about it in his autobiography, The Sound of Laughter. In 1994, Lee made a big move and became the chairman of Manchester City. He basically took over from Peter Swales by buying a bunch of shares for $3 million. City fans were over the moon about this and formed a group called Forward with Franny to support him. When he took charge, he made some pretty big promises, like saying City would be the happiest club ever. He even talked about players getting paid top dollar and everyone partying with champagne. But things didn't quite go to plan. In 1995, he picked his pal Alan Ball to be the manager, but that turned out to be a bit of a flop. City ended up getting relegated, which means they dropped down a league, and just before the club was about to hit rock bottom, Lee stepped down in 1998. He had joked before that if City ever got relegated, he'd jump off the Kippax, which is probably a grandstand or something. Luckily, he didn't have to make good on that promise. After leaving City, Lee kept himself busy. He had a stint as a racehorse trainer. Some of the horses he trained, like Sir Harry Hardman, were pretty notable, but eventually, he decided to hang up his horse training hat in 1996 to focus more on his business ventures. So far, so good, right? But when everything seems picture perfect, there's always a terror lurking in the background. This terror for this football legend was cancer. The fight against cancer is often described as a tough and long journey, full of physical, emotional, and mental challenges. For Francis Lee, this journey was no different. He went through tough treatments like chemotherapy and radiation therapy, all while dealing with the uncertainties and fears that come with a life-threatening illness. Despite the hard effects of his treatment, Lee stayed strong, finding strength from his family, friends, and the unwavering support of the football community. His bravery and determination inspired many, showing that even when things are tough, you can keep going. Now, if you know someone who has had cancer before, you would know how devastating it is to even go through that. Throughout his battle with cancer, Lee stayed involved with the sport he loved, despite his physical limits. He stayed connected with Manchester City, giving advice and support to the club he cared about. His presence gave hope and showed that people can do amazing things, even in hard times. Sadly, on 2nd October 2023, Francis Lee lost his battle with cancer. He left behind a legacy that will be remembered for a long time. His passing was mourned not only by Manchester City fans, but by football fans all over the world who appreciated his big impact on the sport. The sad news of Francis Lee passing away on October 2nd, 2023, shook up the football community. People from all corners, teammates, rivals, and fans poured out their heartfelt tributes. They remembered him not just for his amazing skills on the field, but also for his incredible determination. To honour him, Manchester City lowered their flags, players wore black bands around their arms, and a moment of silence was held before their next game. Football stadiums all over England joined in, showing respect for Lee, showing how much he meant to the game. You see, Francis Lee wasn't just a great player, he was a trailblazer, a successful businessman, and a symbol of never giving up. His goals, the times he stirred up controversy, and his brave fight against cancer will always be remembered in the history of football. Even though cancer took Francis Lee's life, he still inspires us. His story shows us that even when things seem impossible, people can keep going. This is a lesson not just for sick people, but for everyone dealing with tough times. Francis Lee may not be playing football anymore, but he'll always be remembered. Every cheer from the crowd, every exciting goal, and every strong tackle reminds us of his enduring spirit. In his honour, let us not mourn his passing, but celebrate his life and the impact he had on the beautiful game. Let us carry forward his legacy of resilience and perseverance, embodying the same fighting spirit that defined Francis Lee's life. And so, as we bid farewell to one of football's true legends, let us remember his words, his deeds, and the everlasting mark he left on the sport we love. Francis Lee may have lost his battle with cancer, but his spirit lives on, a guiding light for us all. Let's keep his spirit alive by spreading awareness and supporting those in need. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated on more inspiring stories like Francis Lee's. Thank you for joining us on this journey. See you in the next one. Take care.